Hey kids, you're listening to the internet's wettest podcast about video games, consoles, and pancakes. The SML Podcast.
What's up, everybody? This is the SML Podcast. I am your host, Joe. Joining as usual, Jacob. How are you doing?
I'm here first for once.
I know, and Aki's not here, so you get to bust her chops. I was going to say bust her balls, but...
I mean, she has bigger balls than both of us, so... Yeah, that's what happens when we inject steroids and then don't work out for years.
I just have tiny balls. I don't know what you're talking about. My balls are significant. And now we're not monetized anymore. Thank you. Good night, everyone. Yeah, how are you doing? How was your week?
It's been pretty interesting. I mean, first off was actually courtesy of Joe. And I mean, because of the contest that Brooke held. So yesterday I noticed, because I get those notifications from the U.S. Postal Service of, like what's going to be showing up in my mailbox today. And it's just like, hey, you've got a package on the way. And I'm like, I don't know what the hell that could be. So I look it up and it tells me it's coming from Berwick, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And there's only one person. I mean, I know your sister and your mom. So, I mean, yeah, I guess I know.
Live in Berwick.
Oh, all right. Well, good. Then I only know one person or two people who live in Berwick.
And 13 cats.
And Jesus Christ.
When for some reason, again?
I don't fucking know. Hopefully before Thanksgiving, and I'll just have to load up on all my sinus medications.
That's why I was asking when you were going to come visit.
So you have enough time to vacuum up all the cat hair?
No, I was going to give you the goddamn game in person.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, cool. Now I don't have to come up and look at you. So anyway. So if you recall from the previous episode, I laid out what originally was going to be my plan if I'd won Brooke's contest. And that was demand the copy of My Horse and Me Too, which is, believe it or not a sequel to Mr. Hands. Yeah, so what should it in my mailbox appear? But a copy of My Horse and Me Too, which is definitely going in the Xbox 360 this weekend, so I can 1K this bitch and then never touch it ever again. But of course, my kids were also thrilled because they're like, ooh, a new horse game? And I'm like, yeah, no touchy. Like, this is worth more than your college funds currently.
That's the sad state of America that we're in.
Indeed. However, I still have something interesting from this week, and it only popped up within like the last hour. So I'm up on Facebook, and how it has here's a bunch of people that we think you might be friends with.
Yeah.
Why don't you check out their profile? So, so one of my bosses from my previous job shows up in there, and it's a picture of him in a hockey uniform, and I'm like, I mean, I knew he liked hockey, and maybe he plays in an amateur league on the side, blah 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 blah. And so I look in the profile, but there's nothing about his work, work that I know of. And all that's showing up are all these hockey teams that he's worked with and stuff. And I'm like, I wonder if it's just a similar dude who's got similar tastes. Looks like the same guy. I mean, he looked like a pretty average white guy.
White people look the same. Let's be honest.
It's true. We do. But yeah, so it's just it looks like him, but not totally sure. And I just keep scrolling through 2 years worth of his posts, which he doesn't post that much, but it's all hockey stuff. And I'm like, that's kind of weird. So I go over to his LinkedIn profile where I am connected with him on, and it's all the business stuff that I knew of, and there is nothing on there about hockey. And I'm just and the thing is that when I left this previous job, he got fired the same day for potentially unrelated stuff. And so I looked at like, so I just like, I'm looking at the two things and I'm just like, holy shit. Was this guy like, you know, you read all these articles about how like companies are like catching people working 2 full-time jobs at once. And I'm just like, holy shit, was that what my boss was doing? Like, I'm just like, it just blows my mind. And like, suddenly so many things add up, like how he was just gone for like, there'd be like an entire day where like we wouldn't fucking hear from him. And he's like, oh, I'm working from home and, you know, I got to take my kid to like, you know, school and blah, 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 blah. And like, all this other kind of stuff. He was like, but I'll have my phone on me. But like, even though he had his phone on him, like you could never fucking reach him, like ever. And yeah. And so I'm pretty sure that this dude is like, he is like 2-timing businesses. He is an assistant hockey coach for one, and like works in, you know, the other field. And I'm just like, what the shit? Like, I mean, it makes sense, but like, holy crap, like that is incredible. And I'm in slight awe of him that he was able to pull, like, if this is true, he was able to pull this shit off. And my wife was like, oh, well, maybe it's just volunteering shit, like, you know, like community organizations and stuff. So I took the time to look up the average salary of an assistant coach at this place of this organization. And yeah, any assistant coach, it doesn't matter if it's like for swimming or like soccer or hockey, like unless it's football, like I'll give you that hint. Like fuck all their other sports. Football is the only thing that matters for them. But yeah, like a non-football assistant coach, you're making like minimum $35,000 a year, which on the day he got fired, I texted him and being like, oh man, I'm sorry to hear that, you know, you got fired, blah, 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 blah. Like, cause I didn't have any real issues with him. Like he left me alone and let me like just do my shit. Like that's all I really asked for from a boss. But yeah, he was just like, oh, don't worry about me. I'll be okay. And then like, he didn't get another job in his field for like 4 or 5 months. And I'm like, how is he okay? And now I'm like, oh, that's because he is an assistant coach. Like, that's why he's okay. He still had money coming in. Like, fucking mind-blowing.
I don't see the mind-blowing part.
I don't know. I just like, I always read about like, you know, as I said, like I read about people who are like, you know, working 2 full-time jobs, like, and, you know, one of the jobs has no clue about the other job. And I always read about them because like they show up all the time.
You're
and, like,
one of those people.
No, I'm not one of them, but my former boss was. And I'm just like, what the shit? Like, you know, I don't know. It's always crazy. Like when you read about like a certain type of person, then you're like, oh, I don't know anybody who would do that. And then you find out, oh, I totally know somebody who was doing it. Just, yeah, I don't know.
That story sucked. Docky, how are you doing?
Fuck you.
I was trying to be nice, just letting him go. I wasn't going to tell him the story was boring, but I mean, yeah. Good. I got caught up in a review game. Sorry.
Nice.
I hate
Proud
both of you.
Fair.
Yeah.
You have every reason to do so.
Yeah. You can talk shit about me for once I'm late. You go ahead.
I mean, he did.
Well, he's still allowed to.
All I did is call you a bitch.
Well,
so, yeah.
That has very little to do with me actually being on time or not, and everything to do with the fact that I'm just a bitch. So that works.
Yeah. It's also like I really didn't care.
Wow. Yeah, that doesn't shock me.
So, Aki, how was your week?
Busy. Very busy. I haven't stopped playing video games for a while.
Why?
Because I have a lot of review games and I want to finish them all.
Well, I saw on Discord that you got something cool.
Yes, I did.
Herpes?
No.
Chlamydia.
Cool.
No.
Have you been touching koalas again?
No, I've never touched a koala.
Anyway, this cool thing you got.
I got a Plague Tale Requiem Collector's Edition.
Oh, cool.
Not gifted by the company. Sadly, that would have been fucking amazing. But no, I bought it. And the statue's fucking gorgeous. Also came with 3 large lithographs, 3 small postcard lithographs, I guess, is what they are. And a copy of the game, and a little metal pin that you can put on your jacket. So, yeah.
And how much time have you put into the game so far?
None so far.
Really?
I'm saving that. That's going to be
your
my
weekend project.
Scorn's going to be my weekend project. And then immediately after Scorn, that I'm not playing anything else.
Oh, man.
After I'm done with... I've been playing the third game today, because I know once I start Scorn, I'm probably going to play that until it's done. And then once that's done, I don't care what comes in. I'm not going to stop playing the Requiem until it's done. So figured I'd save that for last, just so I know I actually get through everything else.
Fair.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Very fair. Also fair is the fact that for the people who can't afford a collector's edition, it's on Game Pass.
Woo!
Yeah. That's actually how I installed it, because I was like, well, it's on Game Pass and I have Game Pass right now, so I might as well just download it through there.
Yeah, that's how I have it downloaded. I still ended up dropping the $3 for the pre-order DLC. Like, I'm gonna play this eventually, right? Sure, yeah. I will. It's only $3. Let me throw $3 their way and
have you played the DLC first one yet?
Long time ago.
Okay, good. I just wanted to know if I needed to be mad at you.
I mean, you could always be mad at me.
Well, yeah, but I
didn't beat it. You don't
Not
beat
tonight.
any game.
Oh.
But that one, it's pretty much just finished the fucking game. You just had to finish the game.
Yeah, I don't get to do that often. It's just finish the game. Yeah, it's a whole game.
Yeah, finish it, you fucker. It's worth finishing. Especially if you're going to start the fucking second one, because the story does continue. Fucking finish it.
You know what else is on Game Pass? There's a good segue into the news. A lot of stuff is on Game Pass. Horror games are on Game Pass. Amnesia, the Collection.
Cool.
Amnesia Rebirth.
Cool. Decent
Soma.
Game. That's a fucking awesome game.
Yeah, A Plague Tale Requiem, which we mentioned already.
Woot.
And non-horror, but Phantom Abyss in game preview.
I don't know if I know what that one is.
That's the one where you gotta like run through a temple.
That.
And once someone beats the temple, like it's done. Then there's a new temple. And you get, isn't it, you only get like one life or something?
I'm not sure. That game didn't speak to me, so I don't.
Carnage is nuts about it. Temple run, but first person kind of ish.
Of course he's into it. It's effectively an on-foot trials game. Of course he fucking loves it.
Guess what's on Game Pass tomorrow?
Coming out tomorrow. I don't know.
Persona 5.
Nice.
It's finally here. Persona is launching on Xbox, and Persona 5 Royal will be part of Game Pass tomorrow. And I will be going up to GameStop to get my Steelbook edition tomorrow.
That's pretty awesome.
Trading in a controller and some PS4 games.
Some PS4 games? How many? Like 20?
Nah, I don't have that many.
Oh, surprised they're giving you any money for that, really.
Well, I only need to cover like $50. The controller's going to be half that. Yeah.
So you're going to get like 25 cents for all the games and you're just paying out of pocket, okay.
Yeah, pretty much. October 27th, PC is getting Frog Detective: The Entire Mystery. Interesting. Signalus, which I think that's a space thing. I think.
If I'm remembering correctly, I think it's a puzzle game of some sort.
Maybe, I don't know. It didn't catch my attention, but Gunfire Reborn did. And that is also hitting Game Pass on the 27th.
That one didn't speak to me either.
Jacob, didn't you have your eyes on Gunfire Reborn? You checked out a trailer and you were impressed by it?
Yeah, I'll be reviewing it next week, I believe. So, stay tuned.
Ooh, there's a good tease.
Okay, Signalis is like kind of like Dead Space, but 2D. It appears to be isometric-ish. So that kind of seems interesting. I'll probably get into that.
Check it out.
Yeah, I think I'll have to check that out. That actually looks kind of cool.
Not cool is the fact that games have to leave Game Pass, and
really have.
There are a good chunk that are leaving. Sniper Elite 4 is leaving.
It's a shame.
The Forgotten City,
which is a shame.
Second Extinction.
I don't know anything about that one.
Yeah, same.
Backbone.
I don't. It was okay.
Project Wingman.
No.
Non-Guns Doppelganger Edition.
I don't know what that is.
I don't. Yeah.
Jacob, I know this one's going to break your heart. Bassmaster Fishing 2022.
Ah, shit.
Going away. And then Alan Wake's American Nightmare is going off of Game Pass.
Good riddance.
That's
not good
odd.
riddance.
American Nightmare was the terrible one.
And there's no good riddance to any games leaving Game Pass.
Really?
There are some games that just are so bad that people just shouldn't have to see them. And American Nightmare is one of those. No.
I never even bothered with it because I just got so frustrated with the first Alan Wake game that
it's nothing like the first Alan Wake game. All it is an arcade game, basically.
Oh, like what do you? So then, what do you do? Is it like a beat 'em up or something?
You sit there and you kill a whole bunch of enemies in survival, basically surviving as long as you can. That's the entire.
Oh.
It's not particularly fun, which is sad because I got it because I was like, oh, Alan Wake, I'm gonna love this because I love the main game, and then no, not at all.
That's disappointing.
Very.
You know what else is disappointing?
Me.
Exclusives.
Yeah. Fucking Sony.
Yeah, Sony is back at it. They bought a 12-month exclusive on the Silent Hill 2 remake from Bloober Team and Konami.
And they're sitting there talking about how Xbox is anti-competitive. Fuck him. He's such a fucking tool.
Yep. Okay for Sony to do that, but no one else.
But heaven forbid Xbox buys a company and makes it first party.
and doesn't make their games exclusive.
Yeah. For at least 6 more games, it appears. Like, fuck you, dude. By then, Xbox is probably going to be a streaming-only service, is probably what they're hoping with that. I hope that doesn't happen, but that's what Microsoft wants.
We're not going to streaming only. That's not going to happen. Definitely not anytime soon. There's still too many people who rely on physical media. There's still how many people who still use DVDs?
I have a whole bunch of DVDs, actually.
Yeah, my in-laws.
Yeah, there's still people using basic DVDs. Don't use Blu-rays. Don't use 4K. Like
I don't use 4K. I do use standard Blu-ray though.
Those people aren't jumping at the bit to go to a streaming only technology.
This is true. I'm one of those people. I don't want to go there, but that is what Xbox wants to go and has wanted to go for a while.
Well, they're not going to go there completely, I just don't think it would happen. But, I don't know. Anyway, it came out that even if the Xbox and Activision deal were to go through, Call of Duty games would not be able to appear on Game Pass for a set time due to agreements already in place with Sony.
Of course. So. Yeah, probably the same ones where they were paying, hey, don't put this on Game Pass because fuck Xbox. Those deals.
Yeah, it's getting more attention. The whole Capcom, the Street Fighter leak that came out a while back. There was some text that was found in the document that Capcom had to go to Sony first with any kind of game going on to a subscription service. They would get 6 months heads up or something like was it 6 months, 6 weeks, something like that. But they would have like first shot at it. And then if they allowed them to go to a competitor, they would have an option to match it.
But
It's
I don't understand how that kind of stuff works because Sony doesn't own Capcom. Why the fuck does Capcom have agreements like that in place where Sony is basically fucking controlling them? I don't understand why they would even make a deal like that, let alone how that deal exists and just in general.
I'm sick of all these fucking deals with Sony. It's all you hear about is Sony bought another exclusive. Sony bought another timed exclusive.
Yep, every time.
What happened to them creating original games? Instead, we got the third release of The Last of Us recently.
Yeah, at an increased price because they did it at an increased price, all because people wanted that, and because they knew people wanted the accessibility features that were in the second game, because that's all they added to it. Was that I think they made the graphics a little prettier, but not by a lot. So it's kind of like, it's all the accessibility features. So that basically they're like, hey, yeah, if you're handicapped, this is the one you want. So we're going to jack up the price because fuck you. Not like you have to pay more for everything the fuck else for gaming any fucking way. So we're just going to jack this up too because fuck you.
I don't think it's exactly that, but
I always think it's that way, especially when it comes to Sony. Jackasses.
That's why we'll never get Sony products on this show.
Probably.
They'll listen to one episode, they'll hear you, and they'll be like, no.
Yep. You'll have to send them like episode like in the 200s at highest.
Yeah. G4 is dead again.
Doesn't shock me. A lot of people did not like the lady host, whatever her name was.
Yeah, well, one of the things that I thought was real shitty about it is that a lot of the employees found out through an article posted on Deadline, like Deadline Hollywood.
Even fucking told? Oh my!
Nope, not like Deadline Hollywood knew before the employees did.
That's unacceptable.
Yeah, good shit. Gotta love it. Comcast pulled the plug on the network effective immediately on Sunday. So there wasn't even like a, hey, we'll let you say goodbye kind of thing. It's just like, we done.
They're letting them say goodbye on Twitter.
Oh, how nice of them.
Exactly.
Yeah. It was confirmed that console versions of Gotham Knights will not feature performance or quality options and will run at 30 frames per second. A lot of fingers are being pointed at the Series S for the reason that they can't get it optimized properly on the other consoles. And then there's a lot of people pointing right back at Warner Brothers like, hey, optimize your shit better.
Yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with the Series S. To be honest, just every one of their games is just unoptimized. Yeah, and now with the S being a little weaker than the others, yeah, it's going to be affected. But I think this is almost exclusively at Warner Brothers. But that 30 FPS doesn't bother me personally. I don't really mind it. I mean, meh.
Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know. I think people are making a bigger deal out of it than they really need to. Yeah, but at the same time, I also feel like Warner Brothers games has just been kind of like, if it's not a Mortal Kombat or a NetherRealms game title, then it's just like, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah. Like, if it stays, and this is going to be a big if it stays stable at 30 at all times, that's perfectly fine. But the reasons why Warner Brothers is claiming they can't get above 30 is ridiculous because other games do the same damn thing and can run at 60 or uncapped without any damn problem.
I know there's lots of people like comparing screenshots of Gotham Knights to like Arkham Knight and just showing how much better a 10-year-old game looks.
Oh, I'm shocked that it looks better. I haven't actually seen any of the screenshots of it. Because from what I understand, the whole game's in 4K, so I figured it'd be really pretty for people who gave a shit about that.
I don't know. I'll find out because I'm apparently going to be getting my copy tomorrow.
Nice.
Oh, yeah?
Hopefully it's good.
Yeah.
is that's what you're going to GameStop for tomorrow?
No, tomorrow GameStop is Persona.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Persona
So what? Did
we ended up getting that Walmart one? Yeah.
Oh, okay. The Steelbook.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course, the Steelbook.
We're going to swing for the statue.
Of course, there's a Steelbook. I did not want to drop $250 on that statue.
That's
what's the
fair.
statue?
It's of the 4 heroes.
I mean, there is
There's what?
Batgirl in it, so that might be worth
drifted off and the mic cut out.
Yeah, that's
You're going to La La Land thinking of Batgirl.
Yeah.
I was going to say, like, Aki gets the Batgirl statue and, certain areas the paint's just rubbed off.
But,
I wonder, I'm trying to see if I could find what's all in the collector's edition.
Yeah, because 250 ain't too bad in my mind, considering I just spent a little over 200 for the one that I got for my Plague Tale 1.
You snorted.
Yes, I did.
That's got original lead book packaging and 16-page media book, whatever the hell that is. The deluxe edition of the game, it's nice that they'll give you the deluxe edition in the collector's edition. Some companies don't do that, and that's shitty.
And those companies are full of shit, little rats.
Yeah. An augmented reality collectible pin, some in-game content, and the exclusive Knights diorama inspired by Jim Lee, which has the 4 heroes posing. Yeah, it looks cool, but I don't have the money for that.
Yeah, that's understandable.
There's too much other shit releasing this year. My big money spending is going to go towards Goat Simulator for the Goat in a Box edition.
What's in that?
Goat in a box.
Hopefully not live.
Why?
I mean, you've got 13 cats. Do you also need to throw in a goat?
Why not?
Yes.
Somehow I don't think Ashley's going to approve of that.
I think Ashley will approve. Well, fucking maybe she's on board with it already.
I don't believe that at all.
I'm going to text her to find out.
She's sleeping. Don't wake her up. She will be so pissed.
You're like, babe, if Jacob texts you, just ignore him. Just delete it. Definitely, I'm not going to be buying a goat. I'm not. I swear.
Now, it has a plush goat with a long tongue. It looks adorable. So, I want to check that out.
I'll bet you do.
The other real big collector edition that I want to get, it's Callisto Protocol.
Yeah, I've been debating on that one myself.
That one looks incredible. The statue looks great with the monster with the head split. Oh, looks really, really good. I don't know if we'll be able to afford that one. I might have to trade some shit or sell some shit, but.
Well, how much is that? Isn't that going to be like $200?
Like $270.
Jesus.
Oh, okay. So I won't be getting that. All right.
Yeah, that's a pricey one.
Oh, did you see the Resident Evil 4 is getting a collector's edition?
Yeah, I was getting to that news soon.
There we go. I brought it to now.
Look at you jumping ahead to our Resident Evil news. Resident Evil 4 got a release date of March 24th for PS4, PS5, PC, and Series X and S. Deluxe and collector's editions will be available. Switch Resident Evil dates. Resident Evil 2 cloud version is hitting November 11th. 3 cloud version on the 18th. And 7 cloud on December 16th.
Totally.
So good stuff for Resident Evil fans. Mario Party 1 and 2 are hitting Nintendo Switch Online on November 2nd.
Woo!
Woo!
Nifty, I guess.
Yeah. We mentioned Callisto Protocol. They tweeted out that they will have a 60 frames per second mode, and the game will release globally December 2nd.
Nice.
So shit talking Gotham Knights.
I'm going to have to buy that when it comes out.
Overwatch 2 has hit 25 million players in the first 10 days. I was not one of them.
I'm amazed that they got so many people to play it when they kept fucking everything up to lunch. I figured they'd get like maybe a couple hundred people, maybe a few thousand if they were lucky. That's pretty good numbers for a company that seemed to really want to kill this game with, a lot of prejudice.
I mean, that's all I ever heard about it. During the first week of launch, it's like people like waiting like 40 minutes just to get into a game and then get kicked out.
40 minutes? Shit, is Carnage still in chat? How long was that the one night? You waited like 2 hours and you went from 40,000 to 10,000?
Oh, fuck that.
Something crazy like that.
Yeah, that's just like a level of like, I would not even bother.
I'm so glad I don't play these games. I'll just stick with the porn. I'm good. It's the only thing I fucking liked about the first game. It'll probably continue to be the only thing I like about the...
Thimber saying that Annapurna is making a Silent Hill game. The whole Silent Hill thing with Sony, they actually announced like 4 Silent Hill games and a movie.
Yep.
Ooh, I hadn't seen that. I knew they were going to do that, but I didn't get to see that.
Yeah, I know Silent Hill F was announced, and then I think the Annapurna one I think might be like visual novel-ish or like adventure-ish.
Did they give any specifics in the in whatever they showed about any of these games?
So the only one that I know is that the one that's like Silent Hill F is supposed to be set in 1960s Japan.
Okay. Does it play like the old games? Is it...
I literally just said the only thing I know about it is that it is set in 1960s Japan. I mean, you're free to ask me for for a second time, just in case I said...
I thought when you first said that, all I heard was the only thing I know about is that game, and then said that.
Well, to be fair, that is
all you knew about was just that one part.
To be fair, you are correct. That is the only game I know anything about, and that was it.
Okay, so basically their announcement was, "Hey, we might have some games sometime in the future, probably, maybe."
Well, I mean, of course, because did I pay attention to the video game news? Absolutely not. Was I surprised that a new pachinko machine wasn't announced? Yes. Absolutely. Very surprised. I think the whole
I honestly thought that's what was going to happen too, to be honest.
Yeah, I was really expecting like Silent Hill fans to get shit on. But the news that I did pay attention to, of course, was about the Silent Hill movie that's coming up.
Silent Hill Movie Watch news update.
Silent Hill Movie Watch. So
this one's I'm actually excited.
Yeah, so it looks like it's going to be a direct sequel to the first one. They're bringing back Christoph Gans, who wrote and directed the first Silent Hill movie, and it looks like they're just going to completely ignore Silent Hill Revelation, which is fine because like some parts of it were cool in 3D, but that was like literally it. The rest of the movie's absolute shit. So, like, yeah, I'm excited. I really enjoyed the first Silent Hill movie.
I enjoyed all of them, and I'm pretty sure there's more than 2 even, aren't there?
Nope.
There isn't?
No, it's Silent Hill and Silent Hill Revelation.
Ah, then I liked both of them.
The nurses, everything else was meh. Oh, Jesus. Sega had some bad news and some worse news. Let's start with the bad news. They announced that turn-based strategy game Humankind from Amplitude Studios is delayed on console until further notice. People who placed pre-orders have gotten refunds, so that might be...
that kind of sounds like we don't know if this is actually going to come out.
Yeah. And then the worst news, the whole Bayonetta 3 situation. It was revealed that Helena Taylor released a video saying that she was only offered $4,000 to voice the entire game of Bayonetta 3.
And apparently more information has come out that they offered like $15,000 in total for the entire game. It was $4,000 per session.
Yeah, and I think it was what they're saying is that she was guaranteed she was guaranteed 4 or 5 of the sessions at $4,000 a clip. it's, I don't know. The whole thing's pretty fucking messy. It's because it's a lot of like he said, she said kind of stuff.
Well, and regardless, she's going to probably have finding work now because she broke her NDA to make that video in the first place.
I've also heard though that like she's done stuff like that before, so it's like, nah, I don't
really care if she was lying or not because in my opinion, they don't get a living wage, and bumping it up to fucking 15,000 still isn't a fucking living wage as far as I'm concerned.
No, I'm in agreement on that one. Yeah,
if she had been offered like I don't know 50, 60,000 for the entire game, I would have been like, I don't fucking care what her opinion is on this. She chose not to do the game, whatever. Because I think that's a big name character. All those games get millions of dollars in profit, so they could have paid her a fairly decent amount, being the main voice for the main character in this thing that makes them a bunch of money.
Oh well, we'll see what happens. The game comes out soon. Looks good, but. Are you going to buy it? Jacob, were you going to buy it?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still going to end up buying it. Because my wife wants it for Christmas. So, and she's aware of the situation, but the thing is that she plays so few video games that it's just like, this is like, she's been waiting for this since last Christmas. So.
Yeah, she treats Bayo like I treat Ubisoft games. Really have problems with the company, but they're about the only AAA game that I really, really, really like. As almost all of them are from them, so it's like, fuck.
Yeah. So.
Shit.
Anyway, some surprise releases. Moss 2 surprise launched on Steam today for PC VR.
Cool.
Yeah.
You gonna check that out? Because I know you liked the first one.
I don't have PC VR. Wasn't
it also supposed to come to PS VR 2, PS2 VR, whatever the fuck it is?
PS VR 2, but no one knows when the hell that's coming out. Yeah.
Well, damn.
So we'll see. But Alan Wake Remastered surprise launched on the Switch today.
Fuck yeah, everyone go out and play it. It's a great game.
There you go. Last bit of news I have is that the price and release date for Sony's DualSense Edge controller were finally announced. You can get it January 26th for $199.99. $200 for a controller. I thought $139 with the Elite was pushing it, and then I thought $179 with the Elite 2 was really fucking pushing it. $199 is like really, really fucking pushing it.
Yeah, to me, I'm not gonna buy a controller that's over $2. I don't care. I don't even care. All of those controllers are way too fucking overpriced.
I love my Elite 2. I will swear by it as long as you get one that works out of the box. I fucking love the controller. It is.
Did you just say as long as you get one that works out of the box?
Yes.
Because that implies there are ones that don't work after you buy them.
I mean, all controllers have issues anymore. Like the analog sticks and controllers are just dog shit anymore. And it's not just kids. Xbox. It's all platforms.
For $180 fucking dollars, that thing should be made out of pure fucking metal and should never break. Ever. Jesus.
I know, but shit happens. But yeah, the DualSense. $200 full dollars. I do appreciate the fact that the thumbsticks you could pop out and replace them. So if the thumbsticks go bad, you can get replacements. That's nice.
Don't the Elites do that too?
No.
I thought you had like
the Elites just have swappable thumbsticks. The thumbstick, the tip pops off, and you could put different thumbstick tips on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good conversation. Good conversation.
Hey.
What news do you two have?
Co-op is supposedly finally being added to Halo Infinite in November. Supposedly. I'll believe it when it actually fucking happens, because it was supposed to happen when the game came out, and then it was supposed to happen with the beginning of the second major update, and now it's supposed to happen for the winter update.
Yeah.
We'll see if it ever actually fucking happens.
I don't think it will.
Nor do I. I think they're foolish.
What else you got?
The Twitch ad stuff. Do we want to talk about that? Did you get anything on that?
I didn't get anything. I don't know what the situation is with it. I know they're offering like incentives to people for streaming X amount of ads during an hour of their show. Like, I'm not going to do that. I don't care what the money is. I'm not going to interrupt my show with random ads.
Your lips go through all kinds of abuse. Chapped, bitten, split, puckered, duck-shaped for MySpace. So we combined the two best things in life into a portable plastic cylinder. Smooth lips and almost fully cooked pancakes. Introducing Wet Pancakes Beeswax Lip Balm. With only the best coconut, sweet almond, avocado, and saccharin oils, beeswax, and flavor. With a U. What flavor is it? We're not sure. Might be pancake. You don't know. So pick up a couple of sticks for yourself and your friends. And that creepy guy standing behind you looking over your shoulder. Some SML required. Not FDIC insured. Does not contain actual pancakes or Norix. Restrictions may apply. Go for the gold. Pizza Pizza. Your mom may or may not be sponsored by the SML podcast. Joe Cam loves you. Peace out.
Pretty much every Twitch streamers hates this thing. They're like, oh yeah, great money, but none of us want this. And it's because the moment ads start on the shit, the retention of viewers drops. It just fucking flat. So it actively hurts them for everything else they're fucking doing. And, Twitch doesn't care because stupid. But
yeah, it's fun. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah, we've seen them. At least I've seen publicly listed them going anywhere from I think 1 minute all the way up to 8 minutes per every hour.
Oh god, that is
ridiculous.
That's
gross.
That's
TV. That's TV levels of fucking adverts.
Oh my god, I can deal with 30 seconds of a pre-roll ad going into a channel. But if I'm watching a channel and I get interrupted by like 90 seconds of random commercials, no, I'm leaving. I'll find a different stream.
Yeah.
No one is worth that to me. I'm sorry. Myself, like if there were random ads that I couldn't control on my stream, I absolutely encourage you to not watch.
Yeah, I just Twitch is really pushing the ads, but the ads aren't saving Twitch. It's hurting Twitch and the people. I think the heads just are like, let's squeeze as much money out as we can before this thing falls apart in our hands because, that's what happens.
Doc Havoc, I have no shame about encouraging ad blockers. Yeah, I just wish I could find one that worked on Twitch.
Yeah, me too. If you find one that works for Twitch stuff, please drop it in the Discord. I beg you. I've had to watch ads on all this shit for over a year now. I'm so fucking tired of the goddamn ads. I hate them.
Like I can understand if you're a big streamer and you're going to be like, I have to take a break. I'm going to run a minute of ads while I go get a drink, or I'm going to run 2 minutes of ads while I go take a piss. But to just have random, like rock band streamers who have random ads pop up during a song is so maddening. Trying to play a Jackbox game or a Riff Tracks game and 90 seconds of ads pop up in the middle of it. How fucked up is that? That sucks.
What's really bad is lots of people decide to do the mid-roll ones so that they don't immediately lose people when they first join in. And it cuts the middle of what they're doing. Like one of the podcasts I watch on a regular basis has them, and they'll be right in the middle of something, and we all have to be like, ads rolling. And then they just kind of have to stop what they're doing and wait. And it's just,
I don't want that to happen on this show.
Yeah, it sucks.
Jacob, what kind of news do you have on the SML podcast brought to you by QUByte? No.
I actually don't have anything.
Nothing?
We talked about it already.
You're worthless.
I know.
Really?
I know.
So you're really excited about my horse and me too, huh?
Yeah, I am.
That's your news for the week, is fucking my horse and me.
I have some other news. It's unrelated to everything.
You know,
Oh,
if you
God.
could, hold on, if Joe, small request, if you could not say your biggest news is fucking my horse and me too, like, please don't word it like that. Like
I meant what I said, Jacob. Do you dare question me?
Yes.
This episode of the SML podcast brought to you by Mr. Hands.
Oh no. Oh no. God, why do I even have to know that? Oh.
I'm happy to say I don't know that. So
You should look it up, Joe.
No, don't.
I'm good.
Look it up.
Aki, what's your other news?
If anything, you should be upset because that's another shock thing. If anyone wants, you can go and see my dog Rusty in our Discord. I posted it and cats and cute shit. So join it and you get to see my doggo.
You should post more pictures of your doggo.
Well, okay, sure. I can have my mom send pictures.
Yeah.
Yay, poppers.
He's the most adorable. Trust me. Yeah, you'll love it. Just go join our Discord.
Oh,
Go
I already
it.
do.
Okay, we getting the reviews then?
Sure.
Jacob, you ready?
Yeah, I guess.
All right. First game to talk about tonight. Winter Games 2023, developed by Independent Art Software, published by Wild River Games. Actually, this is sports ball territory, isn't it?
I believe so.
Sports ball. Norg, where are you at, buddy? Where the fuck is the file? There's the file. And now it's not playing. I gotta do that.
And now for
here we go.
Sport Ball Shenanigans with Dingleberry Jones. I mean, Jacob Garner on the SML podcast. We tried to get Bob Costas, and he was all like, fuck no.
That's right. Sports ball shenanigans time with Winter Games 2023, developed by Independent Art Software, published by Wild River Games, released October 13th on Xbox One, Series X and S, PS4, PS5, and PC for $29.99, Switch for $39.99. Winter Games 2023 is a classic sports game in a modern guise. The player can prove his or her athletic abilities in 10 dynamic winter sport disciplines. For example, ski jumping, biathlon, ski cross, or Super G. Jacob, what is going on in Winter Games 2023?
So, a game that is most definitely not the Winter Olympics. Wink, wink. Because of course that would be licensing fees and all that kind of stuff. You are at some sort of Winter Games, and like you can choose what country you're going to represent. You can choose like what you're going to look like and all that kind of stuff. That part's whatever. Obviously, the main meat of this game that you're really going to be caring about is all the different sports that are represented in it. And you have all sorts of stuff. You have the biathlon, which oddly they pronounce the biathlon, and I was just like, oh, are us Americans pronouncing it incorrectly all this time? I don't know. Well, whatever. So that's like a mix between skiing, cross-country skiing, and also like sharpshooting, for those who aren't aware. There is the bobsled. There's the skeleton. I don't know what they call it, but essentially you're on a luge head first. So there's that. There's curling. There is snowboarding. There's a lot of different games, and like they stay away from like the team games. It's a lot of solo stuff, which is fine. And thankfully, each of these sports has a little tutorial, which, you'd have to like go, you just have to like read through all the stuff, and it says this button does this. To be honest, the tutorials, like the type, like the font size in it was just incredibly small. Like I had a hard time reading it, so I had to keep standing up and going in front of my TV. So on the plus side, I got actual exercise out of playing a sports game. But honestly, the tutorials are an absolute pain in the ass. I wish that there was like some sort of like a demo kind of tutorial instead. That was just like, even if it was just like a video that was just like, all right. And like when you get to here, like, and it pauses and it's like, you hit this button and this is what this meter does. And this is what it means. Hit this button. all that kind of stuff, that would have been way more helpful than the little crap tutorials that each one has, because it ended up becoming, unless I wanted to stand up and get in front of my TV and like read the stuff, it became a lot of trial and error of figuring out stuff. And even when I had read and understood the instructions, some of them I'm still like, I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to be doing. So the easiest ones are the ones that involve skiing. It's very simple stuff. You know, you just hit A a bunch of times. Sometimes you have to like synchronize your button pushes. So it's like you'll have to hit A, then B, A, B, A, B, and then like, you know, whatever. But curling was just absolutely my worst enemy in this game. And it's just like, I still don't know what the fuck I'm doing wrong. And part of me is just like, I don't know if there's something wrong with like the curling game, or if maybe I just suck at curling. Yeah. Who knows? But like the tutorial does not help you at all. And there's no hot Canadian women like there were in the, what was it, oh God, was that 2012 last time I watched 2014 that I watched the Winter Olympics? It's been a while. Shut up. All right. Go look up the Canadian curling team and tell me that redhead is not like one of the hottest MILFs you've ever seen. Like, anyway. What? I'm sure Aki's looking her up.
She's the one who sighed.
Ashamed of yourself.
Anyway, so I've found the game kind of interesting. I mean, like, it looks beautiful to look at, but of course, half the time, I mean, actually most of the time, these games rely on speed, so you're not going to be able to look at the scenery around you. The scenery is nice to look at, by the way. But a lot of these games that they're covering are ones that generally aren't covered by other sports games. Like, I mean, I couldn't tell you the last time that I had, you know, again, biathlon shooting or a curling game on the Xbox. I don't know if there's ever been a curling game on the Xbox. Who knows? But
pretty sure there has.
Yeah, probably in like one of those like crappy Winter Olympics games, but whatever. Like, you know, it's nice to see some representation for winter sports that isn't just hockey or the occasional skiing game. That being said, the skiing games, they really just don't feel like you're doing much of anything. And the snowboarding, while like, I mean, the thing is, I'm sure it's a more realistic take on it, but the problem is that they just weren't that fun. Like, I really felt like I didn't have to do all that much with the skiing games. Like, as long as you kept your momentum up, like the rest of everyone else that you're competing with can just go eat shit. Like, you know, and it's just the ski jump, you know, once I figured out how to actually nail the landing, everyone else could like go get fucked. Like, but even then I was constantly eating shit off of like the ski jump and I was still winning. Like, I don't know what the heck I was doing right, but, and
well, I can answer that. Absolutely nothing.
But it's just like, but that's like part of the problem with it is that it's just like when you're doing stuff, like even when you're winning, you're not totally sure if like this is how it's actually supposed to be played. And I feel like the game needs a lot more direction for everybody. And this is going to be crazy coming out of my mouth, maybe some higher difficulties on this kind of stuff, because I was fucking up and still kicking ass at these games. So, you know, it's like something's not right if I'm winning. Like, it just, but honestly, like, I was having fun with it. Like, it's not the best game. It's obviously not the best sports game that I've played on this podcast, but it's also definitely not the worst. It really needs to find that kind of balance between realistic and fun.
Yeah.
And then just go from there. But like, honestly, for a budget title, this wasn't that bad. Like,
well, $29.99 on most platforms, $40 on the Switch. What do you think?
Honestly, the price is a little steeper than I'd like. For this. If it ever gets on sale for $20, I would say it's a definite try it. Even at $30, it's still a try it, because I mean, like, hey, maybe you enjoy these kinds of like, if you're a winter sports fanatic that like isn't hockey, then this is definitely worth checking out. But otherwise, this is a definite like wait for a sale.
All right. Next game, The Last Hero of Nostalgaia. Weird title. Developed by Over the Moon Games, published by Coatsink, released October 19th on Xbox One, Series X and S, and PC for $24.99. Nostalgaia, the world of video games, is collapsing backwards into a mysterious pixelation, with every particle of fidelity bleeding away. Oblivion seemingly awaits even our most cherished gaming memories as the lighting dims and frames diminish. With the world on the brink of extinction, hope emerges to fight back, and hope's name is Jacob Garner.
Oh God, we're fucked.
We are
so very fucked. So this game is a lot of fun. Pretty much everything that happens within the game is very tongue-in-cheek. And so you start off with this pixelated hero who's just a collection of lines. And you're introduced to like your stat page, and like, you know, you can design how your character looks, but it all doesn't fucking matter because your guy's a stick. Like, so you're messing with all these sliders, even though they don't do anything. Which I thought that was pretty funny. And then you're introduced to this tutorial level, which, you know, you're running around, you learn how various stuff works. You know, the various mechanics, whether it's fighting or sneaking around, using, you know, health potions, using your magic, because eventually, like, you could start tossing, you know, the standard stuff, fire, shurikens, all that kind of stuff at your enemies. And then you start running into the enemies who are just these like big, huge dudes that are way bigger than you, and you get fucked in the ass, not literally. But so if you haven't already experienced your first death by this point in the tutorial, you will then. And then the game awards you an achievement for dying. You get an achievement for getting an achievement. And then the game also tells you, oh, by the way, this is a Souls-like. And as soon as I read that, I was like, shit. So pretty much what happens in this game is that, yeah, like, you know, you're going to get killed a lot. But at the same time, whenever you come back, and the thing is that like I should have seen this coming because there's signs all over the place, and one of them is like, "We are the ones that came before you," and like there's a couple of other cryptic stuff. But once you find out that it's a Souls, like you're like, oh yeah, okay. So for those who are unfamiliar with it, you pretty much just, you know, you keep repeating the same stuff, dying over and over again. You can leave messages for yourself or other players because you can play online with this. Although I never got around to trying out that feature with it. But you can play co-op with it. And with that, once you die, you drop all this experience and stuff like that, which you then have a chance to go back and get, you know, provided that you don't like straight up die, which I believe is possible because the game has had me restart. But then I seem to like come back with my stuff, even though it was like you're dead. Like, I'm not sure. Like, it's a confusing game, but at the same time, I really loved like listening to the narrator just, you know, talk about random shit, and having to figure out how to avoid lots of like the big enemies while still gaining experience from like the little guys that I knew I could kick the shit out of. Yeah, if you suck at video games like me, like this is not going to be a very chill game for you. I'm just going to warn you right now. You're going to die a lot, and I mean a lot. And like,
Aki, did you die a lot?
Yeah, I gave up on the game after a while. I got through the tutorial boss and all the big guys in the first training area real easy, killing them all even, and And then immediately after that, you go into this city, which isn't too bad. And then you go into mines, and I couldn't get anywhere in the mines. It took me more than a day of playing to get from the start of the mines to the boss room. And then I spent like a day or two on the boss and I couldn't beat it, and I just was like, this isn't fun anymore. I'm done. I do like all the comedy bits and stuff in it. Like, I like the whole concept behind the game, and the narrator is really funny.
Yeah.
But it is so fucking unforgiving. I really got spoiled with the Still Rising's assist mode. I would like something like that in this game. Just
I'm in agreement on that. Like, yeah, for the people who aren't real fans, or we're just not fans of Souls-like games. I think it would be nice if there was some sort of option that just made the game easier and like we just got to experience it. Because there was also a couple of times where it's just like, oh, you died and all your experience is just right there. And I'm like, yeah, go fuck that. I'm not going to try to collect that because like of the precarious place where I had died last time.
Yeah, for me, it was always to enemies. And I was like, I don't know if I can fucking get back there even, because almost all of my deaths were in that goddamn mine. And like, I just, for the life of me, could not manage it. Then again, I don't know how well I was statted, because there's a couple things about this game that are kind of interesting. If you put points into your luck stat, there's a list of benefits you get that increase as you put more points into your luck stat. But some of the later ones are like, oh, you have a chance to just not take damage when you get hit. Oh, you have a chance of simply not losing all your shit when you die. Stuff like that. So I was like, okay, I want luck. So I went to a very luck-heavy focused build because I was like, more items, more chance to crit. You get to get like 25% more damage after you reach a flow state, which percent chance again. And it's like so many good benefits are just going luck route. So I put a lot into luck and I wasn't very lucky.
Got your ass kicked.
Uh-huh.
Nice.
It has one really, really cool mechanic in it called Remembrance. And some of your weapons and armor and shields have memories attached to them. And if you bring that item to a specific place, you can remember, or at least let the weapon remember what it was or whatever, which increases its stats and stuff. For weapons, it gives them special abilities they can use. For shields and armor, usually makes them a lot better if you do it as well. So I really like that mechanic. It was really cool.
Oh, well, the game is sitting at $24.99. What do the two of you think?
No.
I'd give it more of a try it. Just because like I know I'm not good at these kind of games. And I don't know. I mean, it's just like I enjoyed what I was playing. I just fucking died a lot and like didn't make a whole lot of progress. I mean, if that makes sense, you know, it's just like I sucked, but I was still having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, this comes down to that age-old debate of whether or not there should be easy modes in games like this. And I absolutely think there should be. I think Dead Cells is a big comparison I can make with a game that was a lot of fun, but brutally difficult. And I never thought I would see the end of the game. And then they threw in some assist modes to like reduce enemy damage and boost your damage and fun stuff like that. And I beat the game. I saw it through to the end. And if more games just allowed me to power through, I could experience your whole game. Like, I don't want to struggle. I'm too old for that shit. I just want to enjoy your game.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I agree. You know, I think give everyone an assist mode and New Game Plus, so that, you know, after you've played through it assisted and you've gotten stronger, maybe then you can turn the assist mode stuff down or off even, and, you know, get any achievements that you missed. Sadly, something that also isn't capable of being done on Steel Rising, but you know, stuff like that I think would be super useful, because then you can ease people like us who aren't good at the game, who and like me, who needs a lot of assistance due to disability. you can ease us into it, because the stronger you get in the game, the easier it's going to be. It's still going to be hard, but once you get stronger, you don't need all of that stuff on, and you have a much better way of playing.
No, I know. Anyway, next game, we're going from one hero to another with One True Hero, developed by Ratcliffe Games, published by No Gravity Games, released October 20th on Xbox One, Series X and S, Switch, PS4, and PS5 for $14.99. One day a young farmer, the other day a hero, but is he really able to save the town if he's barely able to save himself? As a local hero, you'll need to explore ancient ruins, defeat an army of evil minions, and unravel the mystery of the sinking town, but in fact, it's not the hardest task to fulfill. You'll also need to prove to others that you are capable of being taken seriously. That may be the hardest thing to do. Yeah, that sounds pretty spot on, Jacob. We can't take you seriously.
Even if we could, would we fucking want to? It's Jacob.
I mean, that's a good question.
Yeah. Another good question. How's the game?
So, I was honestly expecting, like, you know, a standard action RPG kind of thing, and I was pleasantly surprised with what I got. If you're a retro gaming fan, it's very much along the lines of like one of the Nintendo 64 Zelda games. Instead, in terms of pretty much just how everything, like, you know, how all your towns are laid out, the actions that you do, just like the whole world around you. And honestly, it was it felt like a nice breath of fresh air, especially with like a fun story that was going along with it. And just moving throughout the environment, and, you know, the combat felt fine. My issue with the game itself, though, is that the camera, honestly, is a bit ass. Like, as I was trying to, like, just be able to look at stuff properly, and like, I know, like, some of it is just sensitivity issues, but it was just like, holy shit! Like, I just could not find the right angle half the time.
Are you going to tell me that a 3D platformer has a bad camera?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Who would have guessed? But it also made it a lot more difficult because, you know, with this looking like a retro game, you know, it's just like, oh, well, you have to go over to so-and-so's house to do it. Oh, great. Everyone's fucking house looks the same. And so it's like, it was a lot of trial and error. Even though the game shows you, like, oh yeah, by the way, this is the building right here. Fuck, man, like, congratulations, you just tossed me into a friggin' Levittown, like a fantasy version of Levittown. You know, like, all the friggin' houses look the same, you know, and it's just like that kind of stuff got frustrating. But honestly, like, the guts for this game are good. And I had a lot of fun with it. And, you know, if you're looking for that retro, like Zelda 64, you know, something to cure that itch, this was a pretty fun game to go along with it. There was plenty, you know, the graphics look decent. I mean, like, we're on Xbox Series X right now, and they kind of looked like, you know,
I mean,
early
it's
Xbox
styled,
One.
It's styled.
I know.
So I mean, we're getting to that point where kids didn't grow up on 8 and 16-bit games. The kids making games now are the ones that grew up with 32 and 64-bit graphics, and now we're getting tons of those games with visual throwbacks.
Right, but like, even then, it's still not. I mean, it still looks better than those types of games, but it's still, I don't know. It just, I was at least pleased with, like, the in-game animations. You know, like, actually, like, moving, you know, people's faces, even if everyone did kind of have, like, the same, like, kind of surprised look at you. But yeah, I mean, it's just like, the combat's fun, the quests were okay. The gameplay, like, shakes up enough in between stuff, you know, as, again, you're in a 3D platformer. And, you know, a lot of it's, you know, trying to figure out how to get from point A to point B and still make it over to point C. But yeah, I had fun with it. Like, and I was really pleasantly surprised with this game. So
No, it's $15. What do you say?
It honestly, for me, it's a buy it. I was pretty pleased. As I said, I was pretty pleased with this one.
Cool. All right. Well, that is it for you, Jacob.
Yay.
Fuck off.
Well, good. Maybe I will.
I like how she says that and immediately mutes herself like she's not the next person up.
Well, you know, she has to finish playing whatever game she's reviewing next.
Yep.
So then, you know, mutes herself so you don't hear all the buttons clicking.
Like when Purnell does reviews.
It's less about the buttons clicking and more about I just don't want you to have to listen to the background stuff in the game.
So it's like, so this game's title screen is really neat. Let's see what the menu looks like. Oh, nice.
It's just when Purnell's doing reviews, you can like hear whenever he's talking, just buttons going crazy.
I love Purnell.
Yeah. All right, get out of here, Jacob.
All right, bye.
Next game to talk about is Batora Lost Heaven, developed by Stormind Games, published by Team 17, released October 20th on Xbox One, Series X and S, PS4, PS5, and PC for $24.99. Coming soon to the Switch as well. Avril never thought she'd have to step up and be a hero, but after a mysterious and devastating event, her world was flipped upside down. With her homeworld on the brink of destruction, Avril has been gifted extraordinary powers and will have to journey across the universe to uncover ancient secrets and reckon with a series of life-changing decisions. Aki, what is going on in Batora Lost Haven?
Okay. And this, obviously, you play as Avril, in case you hadn't figured that out from being told that just a few seconds ago. And the Earth has split in half, killing a good chunk of the population. I think it was leaving only 1/3 of the population left alive. And you and your friend are, I guess, spelunking in an urban environment because the city is all but, ruins at this point. And you're doing it because you had some sort of dream where something told you to come here and you could save the Earth. So you do. And, wow, you find some crazy magical thingy and poof, you're somewhere else. This game has you going through 4 different worlds. Each one is based on an element to heal their the core of their planet, basically, in order to save their planet, which will in turn save your planet. You're following the services of Sun and Moon, 2 gods that look like statue thingies. Very artistic statue thingies. They don't look like people at all. And
statue thingies.
Yeah. Sun is the embodiment of physical stuff. And with his power, you get a big fuck off sword and you get to roll around like a crazy bitch and you get to do leaps and slam it into the ground with your sword and, just kicking the shit out of everything. Whereas Moon is the mental side. So you turn into this glowing purple thing that shoots lasers out of their hand, laser bolts out of their hand. So, pretty cool. And this is a twin stick shooter, kind of. I guess. Yeah, because you use a sword in it too, and I don't know if you consider twin stick shooter to be sword actions, but
like when you're using the mind portion, you can use twin stick controls, but it shoots very slow.
Yeah. However, you have the X button, which does fast attacks, or you can move, and that's for both the sword and the shooting parts, and they only go in the direction that you are currently facing. Or you can, for both of them, use twin stick controls, and you can just use whichever you want. For the shooting one, it shoots slower bullets. However, they're stronger, and after you shoot, I think it's 3 of them, because you just hold it in a direction, it shoots 3 standard ones, and then it shoots 1 big one, because it just does its own combo, basically. Whereas the sword does a swing close up, and then it charges, and then I think they jump, causing a shockwave, and then slam into the ground. However, the sword twin stick thing is an unruly bitch, so I don't use that. It never worked for shit for me. I use the first slash of it, and then I'm like, okay, I don't want to fling myself halfway across the screen, because it won't send you at just whatever enemy you're targeting. It will send you until that dash is done. And if your enemy's too close, you've hit it and gone past it. Because it doesn't take the enemy with you. So I was like, I'll just use that. And I use only the quick attacks for that. But as you go through each area, you also level up your abilities for each of them. It's not one at a time. You get a new ability for both of them in every world, basically. And, like the first one you get for the physical is you get to spin in a circle and just cut everything all around you. Just spin in a circle for a little while, which is one of the most useful fucking abilities in the entire game.
Whirlwind Barbarian for life, Diablo.
Totally. I've never played that game. But effectively, yes, and it's fantastic. And I don't know what the hell her upgrade is for that at that point. It's a blast that hits everything basically in a whole quadrant, 1/4 of the area in front of her. Both of them much stronger than your standard ability, and and you just get more and more abilities as you go through each area. And yeah, each area, again, based on an element. The first area is like rock. The second one's like air, etc., etc. Every environment is completely based off of that element as well. And for the most part, most of the creatures that are in it are based on that as in the people, more or less, you come across, because each world is home to its own race of living beings. So like the first area, you have a bunch of people based on rocks, and there's a bunch of water around it. So you have people that are also based on toads. Yeah, totally. Sure. All right.
Totally.
We got, okay. Yeah. Oh, no, I didn't want a pun. No. My soul. You sound like an asthmatic chain smoker that's like 90 something, dude.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's Batora.
It's really fun. There, you typically fight a bunch of enemies, and all the enemies are color coded. They're either red or purple. And guess what Sun's color is? Red. Guess what Moon's color is? Purple. Huh. I wonder why the enemies are colored the same. Huh. It's because you do more damage if you attack them with the right color.
And it was orange and purple.
Orange, red, whatever. Yeah. I'm partially colorblind. They're the same thing to me. So yeah. So it does mix things up. You still do damage to most enemies, even if you're attacking them with the other characters' abilities. But you might as well attack with yours, because it does like double the damage. Generally, I often kept, just as the moon, and just killed things from afar and just kited around in a circle around them. I didn't care what color they were. I was just like, I just want to kill them, and I don't want to get hurt. So fuck it. You also have 2 different health bars in this game, and if either one of them goes down, you die. And you have to restart that entire section all over again, which is a big pain in the ass sometimes. And basically, if a red enemy hits you, it does physical damage, no matter whether you're in your sun mode or in your moon mode. Sounds so weird. It only does physical damage, whereas the purple ones only do mind damage. So you can be in there with the sword whacking on a moon-based enemy, and every time they hit you, they're not taking away any of your health of the current form. They're taking away the health of your other form. When it hits 0,
away a lot of it too.
Yeah. And once it's gone, you're still just as fucked as if they took away all of the physical. So there are shops in the game that you can buy runes, and these runes allow you to augment your playstyle. There's 3 different types. There's a defender, neutral, and conqueror. And your choices in the game determine how much of each of Conqueror or Defender points you get per level up. Because your choices are either, guess what, Defender or Conqueror. And each one of these allows you to equip that kind of rune, or that many, because as many points as you have is how many, each rune has a number on it that tells you how many of that amount it's taken away. So if you have like 5 Defender points, 10 neutral, and 7 Conqueror, you can equip that many worth of runes. If one rune says, oh, this is worth 2, well, then you have 2 taken away, and now you have less.
I think the rune system has a lot of potential, but at least at the beginning of the game, it's very limited.
Yeah, it gets a little less limited as you continue, but only by a little bit.
Yeah.
Sadly, I found a majority of the problem with the runes was simply that for every benefit you get, you're taking a drawback.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, I want plus 25 attack, which is really good when you're first starting the game. On your second playthrough, that's fucking garbage. Matter of fact, later in your first playthrough, that's fucking garbage. But you'll get like plus 25 to your damage, not 25% of whatever your total damage is. No, just plus 25.
Yeah.
But it'll take away like 5% of your defense or something. So you're getting a little bit of benefit and a whole fuck ton of problem. However, that allows you to augment how you play, and you have a bunch of places you can put runes. I didn't count out how many rune slots there are, but there's a lot. You don't increase how many slots you have, sadly. The ones that hurt you the least are the neutral ones, ironically, and only mostly in late game, and those are harder to buy than the other ones because you have 3 different pieces of currency in this game, none of them related to the money in your wallet, so thank fuck for that. First one is these just coins that you get. Occasionally enemies will drop it, occasionally breakables will drop it. You get a whole bunch of them in every level, and they follow you through all the levels until you start a new game in which you lose them all because fuck it, why not, I guess. And you can buy most of the Conqueror and Defender ones with that. You get a bunch of money, but those fuckers cost a lot of money. They cost anywhere from 2,000. I think the highest I've seen so far is 5,000.
Jeez.
And you might, in the first level, like the whole first world, you might make 10 to 12,000, and if you're lucky. And that's probably
or 100?
Yeah, 1,000.
Oh.
Which gets you a couple.
Yeah.
In that. And later ones you get a little bit more, but not by a lot. The second one are these blue crystals, and you can usually buy 1 or 2 of these from most vendors as well. These are what you use to get a lot of the neutral abilities, which you get from a special character named Batora, actually. And these ones, you might have an ability where it's like, oh, with your solar wind ability, which is where you spin around like a psychopath with your sword, you take less damage while you're doing it. And that's all it does. It doesn't buff your stats at all, but it also doesn't fuck your stats any, which is a godsend in the game. And then later on, you also get these pink ones that are pink or purple. I don't know what color they are exactly. And they're like super rare. You get like 1, maybe 2 of them in each world.
Jeez.
However, these items you only need 1 of to buy this upgrade, and these ones give you really solid benefits and usually no negatives. They're also used to buy neutral ones. Typically, after the first world is when you can start buying those, but they're like 10% of both types of health, plus 10%, minus nothing. You just get 10% for both, which is awesome because everything else isn't like, oh, you get 10% attack damage for both of these. No, it's usually 1, and then you take a -1 or both if you're unlucky.
Yeah.
So stuff like that's a godsend, but you can only get a few of those because there's only a few of these things.
Well,
I think
people can only get a few games these days, and this one's sitting at $25. What are your thoughts on it?
I really like it. New Game Plus is unnecessarily hard because I think they just had a bug in it. The shops don't sell you as much as they used to. Like most of your neutrals, you can't buy anymore. They're just not in the shop, which is a shame. But otherwise, I really like the game. I think everyone probably will enjoy this. And there's replay value because of all the choices you can make.
Cool.
Some of them lead to different bosses, and you have to beat all the bosses for an achievement. And there's at least 2 different endings. So,
yay.
Yeah, I'm almost done with my second playthrough, actually. I have like 4 achievements left in that game, I think.
Lord.
Yeah.
Anyway, next game, Josh Journey, Darkness Totems, developed by Provincia Studio, published by QUByte Interactive, released October 6th on Xbox One, Series X and S, Switch, PS4, PS5, and PC for $13.99. The world of provinces is infested with nightmare monsters from the world of dreams. The Shadow of Darkness, which is the entity that controls the dark side of dreams, is sending its creatures and building dark totems to control the 4 main provinces: wind, water, desert, and industrial. Fight the forces of evil, destroy the totems, and restore peace and harmony in the world. We got someone new doing some work for us. Horror Acolyte, one of our frequent lurkers in chat, hanging out with us, wrote in a review for this one. So let's see what Horror Acolyte has to say. Josh Journey, Darkness Totems is a challenging beat-em-up game packaged in a lovely hand-drawn art style. The game can be played single player or in local co-op with up to 4 players. In this world, the forces of good are represented by the Nifless goddess, who is challenged by an evil entity known as Vizzy, the Darkness Shadow. These evil forces have set up totems throughout the provinces that are polluting the areas with darkness is infecting the inhabitants. A little spirit guide named Gus recruits a band of brave warriors: Josh the human, Melina the merwoman, Farquaad the anteater, and Zaz the robot, to help destroy the totems and free the land from this accursed darkness. Although the game is called Josh Journey, the story is evenly split among all the characters in the party, with each of the provinces you visit being the homeland of a specific party member. Story elements are told through cutscenes at the start of each province, with minimal amounts of dialogue in several stages that help to provide some insight into the personality of each character. The core gameplay consists of your party going around each province, pummeling all the foes in your path while making your way to that region's darkness totem. Each character starts out with a basic and heavy attack, along with special ability that can be used when the ability bar has been filled. This ability bar is communal and can be filled by damaging enemies with any character. Once filled, it can be used for a singular character's special ability. On your journey, you will encounter a wide range of enemies such as darkness lizards, angry alligators, rowdy robots, and various darkness-infused locals. Some of these enemies will drop darkness shards that can be used to purchase new abilities and attacks in between stages. Each character has a fairly distinct playstyle, with Josh and Farquaad focusing mostly on melee-based combat, while Melina and Zaz handle ranged attacks and support. On single player, you can seamlessly switch between any of the characters, allowing for a degree of strategy to overcome. Hey, my throat's getting dry. Yeah, my throat's just getting dry. Holy shit! I haven't read a review in how long?
Oh wow.
Sip.
Whew, a long time. I don't know exactly. Holy shit!
It's been like before the dentures. Where the hell was I? On single player, you can seamlessly switch between any of the characters, allowing for a degree of strategy to overcome particularly difficult bosses or mobs of enemies. If a character is downed in combat, they will drop a mask on the battlefield. The mask can be interacted with for a few seconds to revive the fallen character with about 2/3 of their health. Each of the levels, you can find breakable objects that randomly contain a health pickup, restoring varying amounts of HP, and a chest that can contain an ultimate attack pickup. Only one ultimate attack can be stored at a time and carried between stages. Each character has a unique ultimate attack. For example, Josh performs a smash attack, massively damaging all enemies on screen, instantly clearing mobs. Along with enemies, you will need to maneuver around various obstacles like acidic swamps or worm-infested sand dunes, among others. Each province has 2 boss fights, an enlarged guardian of the province and a shadow defender of the totem. In between each stage, you can go to a spirit sanctuary that Gus is situated in. Here you can purchase new abilities, heal your characters, revive fallen comrades, or try out new attacks on the test robot. Some of the more interesting attacks you can purchase are deployable turret for Zaz that attacks enemies and a tongue grappling ability for Farquaad that pulls groups of enemies towards him. Later on in the game, you can also purchase ultimate attack pickups. The hand-drawn art style in Josh's Journey is fantastic. Watching Josh spiral around people with his sword spin attack or Melina freeze enemies with her ice spikes is quite satisfying. Every province has a really distinct look that is complemented by the enemies and obstacles unique to the area, whether it be battling alligators in tainted swamps or robots in semi-barren wastelands. Having a variety of combat styles and abilities for the characters is great. Being able to easily swap between the characters mid-combat to overcome specific obstacles really makes each character feel critical to the cohesiveness of the team. Don't let the beautiful hand-drawn art style fool you. Josh's Journey Darkness Totems is not an adventure for the faint of heart. The game will definitely test your skill and patience in a number of encounters. But first you'll think to yourself, oh yeah, this is a nice little beat-em-up adventure with some cool characters. But that mentality will swiftly devolve into, oh dear God, how is this happening to me? Unfortunately, Josh's Journey has a number of flaws, most of which appear to be related to balancing issues. Having beaten the game in single player, I feel like the game is probably more balanced while playing with at least 2 players, but even in co-op, I could still see it being fairly challenging. The challenge in the game stems from the fact that some enemies deal fairly large amounts of damage and can quickly down a character. It doesn't help that some bosses and mobs have the ability to pretty much stun lock you in place until your character is incapacitated. This also holds true for a couple of environmental obstacles. In the boss fights, you'll encounter minions that aid the boss. In single player, even the most basic enemy, the Darkness Lizard, can greatly hinder your ability to attack the boss because they spawn periodically and constantly try to attack your character from behind. Melina is clearly the MVP of the game, solely for one ability that allows her to make a water clone that can revive fallen teammates. If Melina is downed, it could be quite difficult to recover in a fight that she's not able to be revived, which in some fights proves to be quite the challenge. Having to go back to Spirit Sanctuary after every level, manually heal and revive characters felt a little pointless since there was no cost associated with doing so. You could tell a lot of work went into the game, especially for the visual components. The developers really did a great job in that area. I think for the visuals and character design alone, the game is worth the asking price, but I can only recommend it to someone who is looking for a challenge, at least as a single-player game. I'm not sure how much the difficulty would decrease for each co-op player added, but it might be enough to make the game a slightly more casual experience. That one sounds good. I might have to give that one a go.
Okay.
What were you doing?
Nothing.
You just go quiet and then you're like,
Maybe. That might have been what I was doing. Yes, maybe, possibly, yes.
Oh, do I want to know?
Never.
All right, one last game to talk about tonight. Silenced the House, developed by Graven Visual Novels, published by Sometimes You, released October 28th on Xbox One, Series X and S, Switch, PS4, PS5 for $4.99 each. That means separate achievement lists and separate purchases for Xbox One and Series X and S, as well as PS4, PS5. Any plans for the weekend? There's a great place to escape from hustle and bustle of the city and daily routine. We promise unique experience of horror and despair, if you stay alive, of course. Aki, what is going on in Silenced the House?
All right. First and foremost, this is an RPG maker game. So for those of you who are going to clock out, go ahead, have fun, whatever. I get it. This is not for everyone who doesn't know what an RPG maker game is. It's a game system that people buy and make games in, and it's regularly used for old time RPG type of games. This is not an RPG. This is it's obviously a horror game, but it's I guess an adventure game, kind of. Maybe point and click even. You're a 13-year-old girl who has gone into the forest
to spend time with her friend, and you get trapped in a witch's manor, which is trying to kill you. And kill you, it likely will. Many, many, many times over. The name of this game is to escape. Is to figure out what's going on and escape. And to die a lot on the way. Lots of these rooms give you hints when you're going to die, but you may not realize that those are hints until afterwards, and you're like, oh, no shit. And then you don't make that mistake again. That's how a lot of these deaths are, so have fun. You're gonna die a fucking lot. This game can be completed in just a couple hours, so it's not very long. There's a lot of different game modes. There's easy, normal, and extra. Extra is like, hey, do you like hard? Well, fuck you. We've made it harder. And easy is, you get to continue every time you die just immediately. Whereas on normal, if you die, you have to go back to wherever your last save was, and the game does not autosave. So have fun. On extra, I don't think you get to save at all. So, or you need ribbons or something. I don't know if it's no saves or it's just you don't get very many. I don't remember anymore because I didn't bother to play it on that because no. Just no. So you go through this manner. Most of the point and clicking is pretty obvious. Let's say this girl ghost says she needs something to bind this together. Oh, you found a piece of rope. Give it to the girl. She gives you a book. Oh, later on you find a bookshelf that's missing a book. I wonder what you do. That's generally the difficulty of all the little puzzles in this, and that's how straightforward it tends to be. It's really nice. You don't have to think too far outside the box or anything, because it's kind of like, oh, this screw is loose. I need a fucking screwdriver to tighten it type situation. It is real life obviousness. Which I appreciate. I don't know if all of you do, but I prefer it when point and click games are like that, because otherwise they don't make any sense. And yeah, there's not a lot else to say about this because it's so damn short, actually. Well, do you have any questions about it?
It is only a $5 game.
Yeah.
Is it worth $5? Is it?
Oh yeah, I definitely think it is. It's fun to see all the ways you can kill this little 13-year-old girl. Which sounds fucking terrible, but that is what the game does. It's fantastic. Here, let me just list off a couple of them. Getting crushed, and then when the crushers pull apart, her body gets split in half. Getting stabbed through with spike traps, getting put into a painting that gets blown apart, being crushed between two stone pillars, getting hung, the fun things. And that's not even, I think that might be like maybe 1/8 of them or something. So you have a bunch and it's fun. Go find all the ways to do it. That makes me sound like a monster. And fair enough, maybe I am, but it was funny. So yeah, any other questions?
No, I guess we're done.
Yeah, there we go. Go
Cool.
buy it, folks.
Oh, even better. It's $4 until launch.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I say get it on both systems if you want to,
And if you do plan to buy it on both systems, buy it on the old generation first. If you buy it on Xbox One, you could buy it for $3.99 on sale. And then the Series X version will be 50% off, down to $250.
Yeah. However, I will tell all of you this is going to be hard completion. So keep that in mind, because you do have to beat it on extra mode with the true ending, which is very, 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 very difficult. So yeah, good luck.
Cool beans.
Yeah.
All right, well, that is it for this episode. We are done. We are finished. music this episode. Play something else from the OneUps. It's their 20th anniversary. They just announced a 20th anniversary vinyl release that they're doing. An 8-track vinyl release. Some of their best songs across all their albums, with some really fancy, like fold out artwork and interview in there. And it just looks really cool. I already got my order in. It is limited to 500.
Oh, Jesus.
So if you want one, get your order in quick. Check out the OneUps band on Twitter for all the info there. Check, just, there's links below the episode. Click on them. Like, visit the places that make this shit.
What he said.
Yeah. Any final words?
Banana.